Welcome back, baseball fans, to another elimination video. This time we're going to eliminate the Florida Marlins, a fictional team. Well, yeah, because of the timeline, of course. 1970s, we gave them a team, and it just they have a tough draw. Let's face it. They're playing in the division with the New York Mets, Atlanta Braves, and the Phillies, whereas there's an entire division of expansion teams, the Mountain Division, with Arizona and Colorado, Las Vegas and Portland. They at least know they're going to the playoffs every year. At least one of those teams will. Are the Marlins going to go to the playoffs? Boy, it's going to be really hard. They really have to get the right combination of players all hitting at the same time. And that is, gosh, it's mostly luck, and the timing of when players bloom, because most of these extra player guys are only good once every 4 years. So interesting stats. As the team last year was 17-21, so but this year 16-19. They had 273 last year. This year 243, but the ERA also improved. So less hitting, better pitching this year. Didn't change a lot. But they did put some doubt into some teams. They put a scare into the Atlanta Braves, and they even played the Mets tough, though they lost to the Mets. But yeah, 16-19, very close to 500. Let's take a look at some of these hitters here. Hal McRae, his great 72 card with the Reds in a short sample size. 10 homer and 23 RBI. He had about 97 at-bats for those Reds, and here we played him to 127 at-bats. He actually exceeded expectations a little bit. Manny Mota, always over the 300 line. The Mota line, maybe. The Mendoza line, I don't know what that is. Is the 300 the Mota line? I don't know. Davalillo, ace stealer. So a versatile leadoff hitter against righties and a power hitter against lefties. Interesting card for him. Willie Montanez, really disappointing. Guy who had 30 home runs on his Strat card, only hit a .184 with 1 home run. That's the bad luck that's just going to torpedo an expansion team like this. On the pitching side of things, Bergmeyer went to the All-Star game. Jose Pena could have. So the back end of your Marlin pitching staff was lights out with ERAs around 1. It's just that they didn't get to the back ends of games that often because they're the Marlins. And the starting pitching was very shaky, as you can imagine. Wade Blasingame won 1 game, and that was a shutout of the Atlanta Braves. The rest of the time, he didn't pitch very well. Steve Arlen was the de facto ace, and what would be considered probably one of the weakest candidates of an ace for a squad. A player that even the San Diego Padres did not protect. So he goes from one expansion team to another expansion team, and the numbers weren't good. He didn't get a complete game either, which is something you need your ace to do. And none of the other pitching performances are noteworthy at all, really. So with that, let's take a look at the Florida expansion team, because these expansion teams are topsy-turvy. Year in and year out, it's a revolving door of players. And you never know, who's coming back year in and year out. I think we have 8 here, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. These are the 8 players who are going away. You probably won't find many in the Hall of Fame. They might get into the Hall of Very Good, perhaps. And we'll evaluate that at the end of the video. But let's see who is coming back, as they try, and they got to cross the 500 winning percentage. That's something they haven't done yet. They're going to split the 12 players carrying over next year as 6 hitters and 6 pitchers. They have some nice bats here, really nice bats. So Rodriguez is a capable catcher with a nice on-base percentage. Handles the bat well as bunting and hitting and running with a -1 arm. These are all the good traits you want out of a catcher. You don't expect your catcher to be Johnny Bench. There's only one of those. But if I can get a catcher who can help you out in other areas, a Jerry Grody kind of catcher in this case, something like that, that's a good catcher. Plus, he'll have an even better on-base percentage year in his future. He was an on-base machine. McRae can still be a DH. You know, this was that card I said for the Reds in '72. 97 at-bats, but they would use him more in the World Series against Oakland. Montes is playing first. You got an outfield of Davalillo and Mota, who are pretty good, and Melendez. Mota and Davalillo hold their own, though. They're both 318, 323 hitters. So that's 2/3 of a nice outfield. Pitching-wise, for better or for worse, they're going to only hold on to 2 starters. Arlen, who I said was pitching on 3 days rest. Modest 347, 228 innings. Just not really ace material. Better off should be a number 2 or number 3 starter, but he has to be the ace here. Acosta's got a nice card on 4 days rest with a 2.74 ERA, so that's 2 starters. You can make Ken Reynolds a full-time lefty starter next year, but it's 427. Casey Cox is a starter 5 at 399. And we did say earlier that we like the back end of the bullpen with Bergmeyer and Pena. Both these guys had really good years, a lefty-righty combo at the back end of Florida's bullpen. So with that, what kind of prospects do the 8 players from the 1970s season have moving forward? Okay, let's take a look at what the Marlins are going to do with the 70 players and who is going to help them get better in the off season if possible. It's going to be 6 hitters and 2 pitchers. The first hitter is Gil Garrido, or Garrido. Hey, there was 2 of them, 20 years apart. What if that's father and son? Let's go back to the older one. And then does it indicate Panamanian player? And yeah, it could very well be. So here he is in 70. 367 at-bats for the Braves at 264. After that, he plays the rest of his career with the Braves as well, but his average goes down. Does he have a card in 71? That is a qualifier for waivers. You have to have a card in the first year of the following season, which is 71. 143 plate appearances for Atlanta. So can you get this guy on waivers? So we're going to go look from Gary's roster page, superds.tripod.com. He's got the 71 original roster sheet up here. And let's go see if the Atlanta Braves have Garrido coming back either as a regular player or extra player. And he's an extra player in 71. So he qualifies for waivers. Next player, Cesar Gutierrez. Whoops. Played from 67 to 71 also. Very small part of the time frame here. 70 had almost a full season for the Tigers at shortstop. Interesting, because the Tigers were looking for a shortstop last year. And they went from Dick Tracewski to Ed Brinkman. But they actually could have gone Cesar Gutierrez for a year. I don't think they're going to make that 71 card with just not 39 plate appearances. And, you know, even if he did make waivers, he probably wouldn't get claimed. As this before, hitting was not very good. Let's look at the extra guys for the Tigers. And he's not there, so he has to be retired. A short little career for Cesar Gutierrez. So not a good start for the Marlins. Marty Martinez is next. Useful player, actually. Versatile player. With some nice splits at a certain point. And he had a 300 batting average in, 69? He had 308 and 69. And multiple positions, 765, 241. Look at all these positions a guy can play. So he had hit 220 in the year we just had. Now in 71, 65 plate appearances, 72, 95. So again, we have to look in 71, full season with Houston to see if they made his card. Is he an Astro in 71? Marty Martinez. This is not looking good. Oh, he is. He qualifies for waivers. And it is not looking good for Florida. They have nobody they really want to keep thus far. The next player adds some promise. Jose Pagan. They enjoy this guy. He had a nice 69 and 70. A long career for Jose. Yeah, a nice long career for the Giants, Pittsburgh, and he'll play through to 73. And he should have a card in 71 and 72 for the Pirates. Let's just double check that. They should make this card. Pagan. Yeah, he would have got a World Series ring. Would he not? For the Pirates? Yeah, they made his extra player card. How'd he do? Did he play in that World Series or postseason? Let's go take a peek in 71. Yeah, World Series. 4 games, 15 at-bats at 267. Give the dude a ring, Jose Pagan. Thank you, Jose. So, yeah, we got to get you a chance to get a ring. Get your ring you earned. So he's going to play. He's coming back. Jose Pagan, the first keeper of the Florida Marlins. Good to see that. Next player, Roger Repos. Corner outfielder. Who was a good defensive player with some power. Batting average was never particularly that good. In this timeline. So you see that 18 home runs, but it came with a 238 batting average and a 760 OPS. It's not too bad, really. In 71, he's down on 199. Got it, but he gets on base. He's got a 333 on base percentage and a 707 OPS. For the Angels, full season, 360 at-bats. We'll make that card. You know, that's a keeper, folks, for this team. Not for most, but Florida needs players. And again, here's something to note. When you declare a player to be a keeper during the draft, if you find somebody else in the draft that hasn't been selected yet, just take them. All you're declaring is you're keeping this guy and nobody else can take him away from you. So Roger Repos cannot be taken away from Florida without their permission. It's a protection. But if they don't even want to take Roger Repos and they take another corner outfielder, then they lose the rights to that protection and then somebody else can get him. Next player is Chico Simone. He should get, speaking of World, that 71 series, Orioles Pirates, both those players would have been in that series, right? Chico Simone in 71 with Baltimore, mostly a pinch hitter, but he had power. The Orioles in 71, Baltimore, he would be an extra player. And they made his card in 71. Interesting, let's check out his World Series performance and match it up against Pagan's. He got a ring, actually, in 70. So he got his ring in 70. Pagan got his in 71. And it says right there that he did not play in the series, in the World Series of 1971. Which also means that must have been on the roster because they don't show the ALCS. They show the AL World Series. So he may have been on the roster, but it's not used. Let's put him as a keeper for now, simply because of the World Series connections with the Orioles and Pirates. And now 2 pitchers to look at. Wade Blasingame. Wade Blasingame's the next pitcher to look at. From 63 to 72. Was with the Astros, Braves, then Houston. And you know what? He actually throws 158 innings in 1971. So that's not bad at all. And that'll be a keeper. He doesn't pitch that many innings, interestingly, since 1965. So a nice little gap there. And so 71, Blasingame as a lefty. Lefties are always valuable. And even if you get a starter, you can always move a starter in the bullpen if he's advantageous. Gets lefties out but can't get righties out. So let's keep Blasingame just to get 4 keepers for the moment. And the last player is Sandy Vance, who I think had his career cut short because of injuries. Was a Dodger. And there it is. So he had 70. He had 18 starts, and then something happened in 71, 26 innings. Well, he got blew up to a 6.92 ERA. Pretty positive that card doesn't exist for the Dodgers. Yeah, they shouldn't make that one as deep as the Dodger pitching staff would be. Yeah. Sandy Vance will be retired. So, interestingly here, your Marlins are set. It's not set well, but if they decided they weren't going to get on the telephones and make deals in the offseason, they could roll into the draft this way. They have kept 4, waived 2, and retired 2, and that is the formula. And if you're looking at the money or token amount, a kept player is considered $10,000, a waived player $100, and a retired player is $1 or $1 or a token, whatever you want to call it. And this number here adds up all of this. And interestingly, you draw a line right down there, and that counts up your keepers, your waves, and retires. That's the reasoning for this number system. So 40202 means 4 keepers, 2 waves, and 2 retires. And you also have a cumulative for the league, which is right now sitting at 140, 60, and 62. But that's because there's some bad data in that only 16 teams have been eliminated at this point. So we have data from last year in here. But that's about all we can do with the Florida Marlins right now. Again, they don't have a farm system. They don't have a history. And they just have to hope that they get a nice crew of rookie extra guys from other teams in future years. And there's going to be a certain point in this decade where the Phillies are going to rise up in the East, where the Mets and Braves might fall down a little bit, and the Marlins are still going to be stuck trying to figure out how that can they get to the playoffs. That's it tonight, eliminating the Florida Marlins. Thanks for checking it out. We'll see you next time.